Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome here to race number 4 of the final season of the PCSRA Foster Series powered by the WRA. Getting set to go racing here at Atlanta Motor Speedway for 130 laps, which is like 200 miles here in the Folds of Honor Quick Trip 500. Luis Hernandez, who's made every race so far, this season. He is on the pole, his second pole of the season. He is in the critical 30th in the standings cut line, but remember, he is a non-charter driver, so once he starts missing races, he will not be a factor as far as that is concerned in the terms of the championship is concerned. Sam Davis, on the other hand, is. The problem for Sam, he is 36 in the points, so he's had a rough start to the season. And I could say the same for a number of other drivers who are way down the points that need to start picking it up. Dylan Ebrahimian in row number 2. Ebrahimian is 13th in the point standings, and E Ricci in the 41. Alina comes into this race in the 4th position in the points. She is 3rd of the Rookie of the Year honors as far as that is concerned. As you look at the rest of the starting lineup, basically the same as we saw yesterday. Gonna go ahead and get these cars rolling. And there we go. I believe Luis Hernandez, this is his first pole on the season. Yes, it is. Samad Ozkan is the points leader. Correction for E Ricci. It's she's 4th in the Rookie of the Year standings. But anyway, their top 4 are rookie drivers. Samad Ozkan's the points leader by 10 points over A McShane. Jessica Parker, our Daytona 500 winners. We got a problem for somebody hold on. There we go. Senor Sean had whatever the issue fixed on that number 99. Want to make sure everybody does not have any mechanical problems. But as I was saying, Samad Ozkan is the points leader by 10 points over A McShane. 20 points back is our Daytona 500 winner. Jessica Parker is 3rd. E Ricci, who starts 4th. She is 4th in the standings. That's ironic. William Davis is 5th in the standings. Kyle Langeland jumped 9 spots up to 6th. Alex Hawkins jumped 14 spots up to 7th. Troy Kang dropped 2 spots down to 8th in the standings. Emmanuel Hartnett dropped 6 spots down to 9th in the standings. And 10th is Lucy Granger, who jumped up 18 spots after last week's race. Getting ready for 200 miles, 130 laps of the Folds of Honor Quick Trip 500. We're green from Atlanta. We've had 3 races, 3 different winners. All 3 winners have been the bow ties. We'll see if the blue ovals and the Dodges will have something to say about that. Jacob Foster won last week at Darlington, as Dylan Ebrahimian will lead the first lap. He jumped up 21 spots to 18th in the points table. That means Jacob Foster is now in the top 30 in points. The only one who is outside the top 30 in points is Tatiana Laguerre. Well, doesn't really make a difference for Tatiana nevertheless, because she is a go-or-go-home driver. So, and she was not going to make the playoffs anyway because of the fact she is a go-or-go-home driver. So even if she has a win, it's not going to matter because she's not going to qualify for the playoffs anyway because of the fact of her win. As we're nearing 5 wide right there. Good grief. Speaking of Jacob Foster, oh, look, 7-Eleven. Oh, thank heaven. There is the aforementioned Jacob Foster. Jacob's been on a roll these last couple of weeks as far as this channel is concerned. Got a win in the IndyCar Series. And now won last week at Darlington. Oh, there they go. Tatum Wright is around. That's a big wreck. Oh, Tatum's upside down. That's a lot of cars. Oh, Cody. Oh, my word. Quentin Moore, Jacob Tutu, Emmanuel Hartnett. Oh my goodness me. Betty Johnson's all torn up. Caution is no doubtably out. Zachary Fitzwater coming to pit road. Lot of damage to the WeatherTech Chevrolet. Adina almost got collected. The way they were going 5 wide a couple of laps ago, that had death sentence written all over it. Carolina Bradley, lot of damage to that Dodge. I wonder if we're going to have some pit stops here. I mean, it's a little early to me making a pit stop here. So this says to me we're going to have a 2-stop race. So if these drivers pit now, we're going to have a 2-stop race. And it looks like Jacob Foster's going to pit, but Lucy Granger's going to stay out and have the luxury of the lead. And of course, while Lucy Granger gets her bonus point for leading the lap, let's jump back, look at a replay to see what happened, as a lot of drivers were caught up in our first wreck in the early stages here at Atlanta. Well, with the way they were almost going 5 wide, that was like a death sentence, because the first car I saw got turned into the wall was Sam Davis. So let's look at him. Yeah, nearing 5 wide on a track where you can only go 3 wide. Looks like he and CJ Bracken got together. Tatum Wright was the first car that got out of shape. Sam Davis was the one who got turned to the wall. Same with Carolina Bradley. Baby CJ got turned around. I think Sam and Carolina are going to be okay. Who's the one that hits the 0-1? It was Matty Crenshaw. Nowhere for Fitzwater to go. Runs in the back of the McDonald's Chevrolet. But watch the 71 of Quentin Moore, as this is something I've never seen at Atlanta Motor Speedway before. See, there's the 0-1 flipping. Look at that. Just launched Q-Man up in the air like he's a stunt car. Good Lord. I've seen crazy things in my life. Oh, the 21 got up into the 1 car. Looks like got collecting this, but I've never seen that car get launched in the air like that. Almost shades of what I saw of Daniel Williams II in 2016 when we had a huge ass wreck in the now retired Monster Energy Series, which, by the way, is coming back for a final season. But here's the catch: it's only going to be drivers that have custom rides, like Annie Thomas, Betty Johnson, Jacob Tutu. There's a lot of drivers involved in this one. Jessica Parker got into Quentin Moore. I didn't realize Jess was involved. There's Betty Johnson. Who did Betty Johnson get hit by, or did she have nowhere to go? I don't think she had anywhere to go. Oh yeah, when Jacob hit the 78, nowhere for the Bass Pro Shop Chevrolet to go, and the 21 made contact with Jesse Ard. A lot of drivers involved in this one, and the caution's out for the first time today. Let's get to the restart here at Atlanta. That was a big wreck. We didn't need this early in the races. We're going to go back to green on lap number 9 of 130 early in the race, and we're already starting to begin the pit strategy games. Lucy Granger did not pit. She's the leader. Riley Anderson in second. Senor Sean running now in third. Got a couple of drivers a lap down. I think Fitzwater we know because of being involved in a wreck. I don't know how Ponzo Albanus is a lap down, but we'll check in a minute. Muhammad Zain is in fourth. Fifth is Grace Takayama. Sixth, Daniel Gitirokh. Seventh is Cody Magouryk. Eighth is Alina Ritchie. Emily Anderson, ninth. She needs a big result. She's like dead last of the charter teams. And P McShane will complete your top 10. She's like 43rd in points, referring to the 60 car, if you ask me. Drivers out from that incident, only surprisingly 4 out of the race. Those 4 being Maddie Crenshaw, Jessica Parker, Tatum Wright. That's a shame for Tatum. And Quentin Moore. Tatum Wright really doesn't matter. And of course, she's on that number, which I'll do this. Dang, on the points back of the points lead. So Tatum really doesn't matter where she is at in the points because she's a go-or-go home driver. As we're back to green here at Atlanta. Excuse me. Jessica Parker, third in points, third in the Rookie of the Year standings. Not the run she was hoping for. That's going to really hurt her. Quentin Moore, 11th in points coming into this race as Riley Anderson's about to take the race lead. So Q-Man's going to take a major hit in the standings. Zachary Fitzwater, 22nd in points. This is not what he needed. Emmanuel Hartnett, 9th in points. This will drop him out of the top 10 of the points. I got to figure out why the 16 is a lap down. Unless he came in and made an unscheduled pit stop. Either that or had to repair damage. I'll have to look and see why he's a lap down. Let me see if I'm forgetting somebody else as Mohammed Zain's about to take the lead. He's 25th in the points, by the way. Riley Andersen, 26. So these are good bonus points for those said drivers. Okay, we already mentioned Matty Crenshaw, or did I not mention about Matty Crenshaw? I was actually going to mention Crenshaw. Matty was 32nd in points. That is a driver who definitely could not ill afford another poor result. She is more than likely going to find herself in a desperate situation of needing to turn what has been a slow start to the year around. As we have 38 drivers still on track, 35, soon to be 34 on the lead lap, as Scarlett Wallace did come out of the pits. Don't see any damage on the Arby's Ford. But not the... And Scarlett came as race 31st in the points. That is not what she needed. As Riley Andersen now will take the lead of the race. So the Monster Energy Series, of course, I know Eurocar technically stole my series without my permission, thanks to Hergel Arvin Alonso, which, by the way, he's going to get nominated for Locale of the Week because when I created the series for the Monster Energy Series, someone just stole it without my permission. Just like Nathan Stapleton, who won't shut up about me borrowing Elijah's series, even though theoretically it is under the PCSRA umbrella. So, like, what difference does that make? No wonder why Nathan Stapleton was also been given a nominee for Locale of the Week. As we are looking at Lucy Granger, who is leading this race. This is a good run for Senor Sean. Needs a good run here today. There's Jacob Foster having a good start to this race. Of course, he was one of the drivers that came to pit road. So it says to me he can make it on one more stop because he is now in that window to make it the rest of the way. I think that's a good strategy of him coming to pit road. Danny ran in the 91. Of course, we'll get to see him in his famous 06 car whenever I do the final season of the Monster Energy Series, just because I want to have only the custom drivers and all of those drivers that are a part of that league, because all of the cars will be customs. Alex Hawkins in the 47. Alex Hawkins will also be a part of that series, by the way, the Monster Energy Series. As Jacob just lost the spot to Danny Rand in 91. Danny's, by the way, making his first start of the season, the 91, the Trackhouse 91. There's been some news that has that I want to go ahead and share this with everybody. Of course, Jacob Foster, of course, already confirmed he will be back in the Winston Cup Series for next season, which we also found out it was already announced yesterday. I think it was after pole day qualifying. Jessica Miller announced that she will not be returning to the number 9 in the Winston Cup Series for next season. And the 9 over in the Cup Series, the Winston Cup Series, will now be an all-star team, which, if that is indeed the case, Jacob Foster, who has been trying to attempt to qualify for every race in the second season of the Cup Series, there has been some rumors Jacob Foster would get the points from the 9 team, which make a lot of sense. So Jacob Foster is looking like he's going to be locked into the Cup Series next season. As oh no, he just got together with the 16. Oh no, they're wrecking. Jackie Tang involved. Priya McShane caution is out. Oh no, Bradley just got spun by Brendan Rodgers. That was uncalled for. Oh my God. I just don't get why lap cars have to cause problems. Daniel Witter's coming to pit road. I don't know what this is all about. Priya McShane's involved. There's Jacob Foster. A lot of damage to the Progressive. Jacob Foster's going to be absolutely livid at Ponzo Albanus, and rightfully so. While these leaders are coming down the pit road, let's jump back, look at a replay to see what caused the second caution of the day at Atlanta. Just been told, driver crew chief of the 16, report to the Foster's hauler after the race, because this was uncalled for. As I don't know what the hell Ponza was doing, and unfortunately, poor Jacob Foster, wrong place at the wrong time, and he just got taken out by a lap car. Absolutely disgusted. And I can tell you what, there's another driver who's going to be fuming at Ponzo Albanus, and his name is Luke Knight. Nowhere for Jackie Tang to go. He runs in the Jacob Foster machine. Unfortunately, Priya McShane got collected. Wow, heavy contact to the outside retaining wall. Hopefully Priya's okay. I mean, she did drop the window net down, but this right here, I really don't understand why Brendan Rodgers just dumped poor Carolina Bradley. Either Carolina Bradley misjudged it, or Brendan Rodgers just not paying any attention. Whatever the case, unfortunately, poor Carolina Bradley got spun in the inside wall. Jesse Ard did a good job not running into the side of the Menards Dodge. But I can tell you this, there's going to be some people really unhappy with Ponzo Albanus after this. And if there is no penalty from World NOS Racing, I can tell you Luke Knight will be the first one to throw the book at the 16, because that was completely uncalled for. As we're going to head to the restart here at Atlanta. We're going to go back to green on lap number 25 of 130. We're still in the early stages. Scarlett Wallace is on the tail end of the lead lap. Looks like she came to pit road let me start that over. She came to pit road just before we went back to green on the first restart, and she got put on the tail end lead lap. So K Langeland is the leader. Grace Takayama in second. Danny Rand is third. Daniel Witter came to pit road before the pits were closed, so she got trapped a lap down. Mohammed Zain in fourth. Fifth is Chase Brooks, by the way, in the Cheddar's car this week. Lucy Grainger, sixth. Cody Magouryk, seventh. Sean Ard is in eighth. Ninth is Riley Andersen, and 10th is E Ricci. Out of the race after that incident, Priya McShane and Jackie Tang both out of the race. I can tell you this, Luke Knight has got to be fuming at the 16. Because I can tell you, Jacob did not deserve to get wrecked. Jacob Foster referring to. So I bet you Ponzo Albanus is going to have some explaining to do on that. As we're going to go back to green flag racing, as Manuel Hartnett's going to go around the Progressive Chevrolet. Should also mention for Jacob Foster that we've just confirmed another driver, Yasuki Kigawa, who was supposed to be in the Red Bull GT series, but because I made the announcement that I was not going to run season 5 of the Red Bull GT series, which I announced it in the Discord, which, by the way, if you've not joined the Discord, the link to the Discord is down in the description below, as long as you are not joining and leaving the server like Nathan Stapleton has been having the last several weeks. But Yasuki Kigawa, which is Jacob Foster's driver that he signed up for in the Red Bull GT series, he will be in the 06 car in an all-star effort running the road course races. Now, why is he doing that? It's because Lauren Ekstrom, who was supposed to be in that ride for the 06 next season, she is not going to be in that ride for the entire season because, in case you are not aware of the news that I've been talking about over in the Cup Series, the Winston Cup Series, Busch and Trucks, is that Lauren Ekstrom is expecting to welcome her first child into the world. And I think, according to Dylan Cunningham, I think it would be best for Lauren Ekstrom to sit out an entire season, so that way, A, she can welcome her child into the world, and B, give drivers like Yasuki Kigawa a chance to race. So it makes a lot of sense why this plan got put into action. So we wish Lauren Ekstrom, good luck with her recovery and all that, which we don't know when she will be recovering. Because remember, Lauren Ekstrom, not only the owner of Australian Motorsports, but also taking the ownership of Smart Motorsports, because Cody Smart has officially retired from ownership because Cody Smart is now a full-time dad with Sonia and Green Jr. So that is the reason. So we're very excited for Yasuki Kigawa to get an opportunity in the Cup Series, which, by the way, the Season 3 schedule will be announced later this season in the Discord, by the way. And I'll try to put the schedules for the All-Star teams of who's going to be in what ride for Winston Cup next season. That way we can have a clear understanding of, who's going to be entered and all that. So that way everything is taken care of. I think we're under caution again. Yes, we are. Oh, Fitzwater, Kyle Langeland, Jacob Foster, Jesse Ard, Carolina Bradley, Baby CJ involved, along with Vanko Seaman, Troy Kang. Oh, good grief. Talk about we're not going to try to get a green flag run at this juncture in this race. We may not have anybody left at this stage. Boy, talk about Sean wanted to wreck the field so badly. Boy, he's getting his wish. And, of course, his sister gets collected, so Sean's going to go to Jesse later. As the caution is out for the third time today, these drivers are not going to come to pit road. I will be surprised if they are. Chase Brooks, I'm kind of surprised he's coming to pit road. Scarlett Wallace, I don't know why she's coming to pit road. She's a lap down. As the caution is out for the third time today, let's jump back, look at a replay to figure out what happened in turn number 1, as we're not even close to the midway point of today's race. Looks like Kyle Langeland was the one who started this caution. Looks like something let go on the Exalta Chevrolet. I wonder if somebody ran into the back of him. Looks like Luis Hernandez did. I think Luis might have gotten into the oil. Jacob, 2-2. How did you miss that, son? Betty Johnson nearly hit Kyle. And who's going to clobber Kyle? Carolina Bradley. Then Zachary Fitzwater hits the passenger side, did a lot of damage. Jacob Foster hits Kyle Langeland. Jesse Ard had nowhere to go. A lot of damage to the right front, and then she gets into Jacob Foster and then run into baby CJ like that. How did Vanko Seaman get involved? I didn't realize Vanko Seaman didn't have a hood on his Rush Trucks Ford, or Dodge, excuse me. Well, and then there's the damage right there to the Gamebridge Chevrolet of Troy Kang. As this Wreckfest continues, caution's out again. We're going to have more drivers out of the race after this, as we're going to head to the restart here at Atlanta. Boy, this has been one of those Wreckfests that I was not expecting, as we're going to go back to green on lap 37 of 130. Takayama is still the leader. Mohammed Zain now in second. Lucy Grainger in third. Alex Hawkins in fourth. Fifth is Cody Magouryk. Sixth is Sean Ard. Seventh is Elena Ritchie. Daniel Gitirokh eighth. Emily Andersen ninth. And Eric Stanbury, welcome to the top 10 in that 35 machine. Drivers out from that incident: Troy Kang, Carolina Bradley, Kyle Langeland, baby CJ, Vanko Seaman, Jacob Foster, Zachary Fitzwater out of the race. They joined Jackie Tang, Priya McShane, Maddie Crenshaw, Jessica Parker, Tatum Wright, and Quentin Morris, all back behind the wall and out of the race. Wright, Moore, Parker, and Crenshaw were released from the medical center. Same with Priya McShane and Jackie Tang. And all those drivers that just climbed out of the car have all gone to the medical center, as we're back to green here at Atlanta. Kyle Langeland, sixth in points out of the race. Troy Kang, eighth in points out of the race. Carolina Bradley, 20th in points out of the race. Maybe CJ 17th in points out of the race. Vanko Seaman in the 4. Let me see where he was at in points. 35th. Vanko did not need a bad finish. Jacob Foster 18th in the points. This is going to start worrying me about Jacob, because he just got in the top 30 in the points. I don't know what that gap's going to be between himself and 30th in the standings. A lot of drivers that came in running very well in the points did not need something like this to happen to them, and I have a pretty bad feeling we're going to have a major point shakeup after today's race. And it's going to play a major havoc on the points heading into next week. And you all are asking, where are we heading next week? Next week, we're heading to another 1.5 miles. We're heading to baby CJ, Jesse, and Sean's home race of Texas Motor Speedway. There's Senor Sean running in second. The good news is Sean wrecked the field, which is good. Senor Sean comes this race 28th in the points, and a lot of drivers ahead of him in points that have had troubles today. Sean's looking to possibly capitalize on that opportunity. We'll have to see what's going to happen to Jacob Foster, where he's going to be situated after this race. Because remember, I said this back at the beginning of the season. Even though if you get a win in the series, you got to remain in the top 30 in the points to have it count for a spot into the chase for the championship. That's what these guys and gals have been worried about. I know some people will complain about me using the 2014 chase for the championship, but guess what? Here's the sentence. I don't care. It's my series. Yay for me, bleep you. So, as we're looking at the points leader, S Ozkan, first time I've said his name all day. He came in this race as the points leader. The gal that's trying to run him down for the points lead and for the rookie points lead, that would be, I think that would be Arena McShane. Yep, Arena McShane. She's running in 19th, second in points. We know Jessica Parker is out of the race after she was involved in our first caution of the event. So Samad Ozkan, as things stand, but remember, we are not even at the midway point of this race, FYI. But according to my live points as of now, Samad Ozkan would still keep the points lead and the rookie points lead heading into next week's race at Texas. Pole day qualifying on Tuesday. We'll start it at 4, and then we'll have the race at 2 p.m. Eastern. Going to be really exciting. There's Alex Hawkins from Richmond, Virginia. Alex comes in this race 7th in points. Alex has been a great friend I've had over the years. Happy I got, Troy Kang, Ish Taylor. Of course, Ish Taylor not in this series. Zach Underwood, excuse me. That's the driver, not Alexander Underwood. I'm getting the two Underwood part mixed up. We will see Troy Kang, Zach Underwood, and those drivers in the Monster Energy Series final season. However, like I said, there won't be signups for 2 reasons. One, it's going to be a custom series because all the cars are going to have customs. And 2, the cars were already been painted a long time ago. Of course, Alex Hawkins will have his number 20 Red Bull Audi, the new Audi RS8, which is going to be fun. Of course, yours truly going to be running in 18 Monster Energy Series races because remember my 26, because the 26 is going to be an all-star team. I'm not running for the championship, not running for like I said, not running for the championship. Just running for pride. That's basically all I'm doing. Of course, I'll be running. I'm still debating whether I'm going to be in my Mercedes-Benz, the new Mercedes C36, or my Hyundai Sonata. I'm still debating which ride I'm going to be in. Of course, I got 2 of those. I got 2 paint schemes for the Hyundai Sonata. The Cinnabon and then the Gatorade one. So, of course, if I do the Hyundai Sonata, I'll have Vanellope von Schweetz run her V8 Smoothie car that she's already got painted. So that will be fun. Ironically, Alex Hawkins is driving a drink sponsor, and his custom ride is also a drink sponsor for Monster. I find that really funny, to be honest with you. I don't think people want to do a combination between Red Bull and Sunny D. That would be not a good drink combination. Just saying. Grace Takayama right now running in second in the Napa Chevrolet for Hendrick Motorsports. This 9-car Never found, I don't think the 9 car, the last time I did this series, the 9 car went to victory lane, but I will have to go back and look. Last time I did the Fosters. But I'll go double check. Last time I did the Foster series was back in 2023. Which actually, let me go look that up now that we're discussing about that, without having to go look it up on Score 4. Who's the driver of the 9? It was Jessica Shelton. And Jess did go to victory lane in the 9 car. I don't know which race, but she was not in the playoffs. Alex Hawkins. Trying to remember if Alex Hawkins was in the final season of... Don't think Alex Hawkins was in the series, if I'm correct. I'll have to go back and look on Score 4. As Danny Rand takes the race lead in the 91. We're finally starting to get this green flag run going. Danny Rand, by the way, for anyone asking what ride he ran in Monster Energy, it's the 06 Pepsi Max Chevrolet for Kevin Joseph Motorsports. Of course, Kevin Joseph runs the 75. Lisa Gonzalez, who, by the way, I have not chatted with Lisa Gonzalez in a long time. Hopefully, Lisa Gonzalez has been doing better. As looks like Ponzo Albanus is going to stay on the bottom. At least he finally has common sense to move out of the way of Danny Rand. But anyway, back to the Kevin Joseph Motorsports lineup. It's Danny Rand, Kevin Joseph, Lisa Gonzalez, and the gal you'll be seeing run some truck races later in the year, Alexandria Van Dam. She'll be running the Budweiser 02, almost a throwback to Dale Jr.'s 2007 Pepsi 400 scheme, which, funny thing is, I ran that throwback at Darlington in another NR series, which is the NSCRA. Jesse Ard is going to go lap down along with Louise. Looks like Jesse's not going to hold up her teammate. She almost took out Alex Hawkins there. Yes, Jesse and Danny are teammates over at Trackhouse. Of course, this is the Project 91. There's Luis Hernandez moving out of Danny Rand's way. Alex Hawkins. Forgot this will... Marina McShane's out of the race with a gearbox problem. That's second in points, so that's good news for the guy that she was trying to run down for the points lead. That would be that was Samad Ozkan. Daniel Witter, by the way, came to pit road. I think she got held in didn't beat the stop man at the end of the pit lane. That's why she's a lap down. She is up to speed, however. Sam Davis is the last car on the lead lap. Well, Right on cue, they are getting ready to put the HendrickCars.com Chevrolet a lap down. As we're nearing the midway point of this race. Great run for Chase Brooks in this number 8 machine. Driver who's been really struggling. And Chase comes into this race 42nd in the points. He is next to last in points of the drivers who have a charter this season. And there's the gal who is last of the charter drivers, Emily Andersen, who's had a horrid start to the season. But both the 8 and the 60 having a lot better result here today. So that's good news there. As Sam Davis has gone a lap down, we're just past the halfway point of this race, which also means the fuel window has opened. So those drivers who came to pit road after lap 30, if they pit now, they can make it the rest of the way on fuel. Riley Anderson running in 7th right behind her teammate Emily Andersen. Riley, by the way, is teammates with Marty Stevens for I think it's a new team. I have to look it up. Oh, here it is in front of me. It's Union Jack Racing. Yeah, weird name if you ask me. Marty Stevens is actually I need to look it up. Riley runs the San Francisco Giants Minnesota Gophers Mercedes-Benz C36. The new Mercedes C36 has been one of the talked about during preseason testing in that series. As I just now realized we're on that number. Dang. Trying to think what ride Marty Stevens is driving. If I could recall. Because I actually posted in the president's chat. I'll have to go back through. Or I could look through the photos here. Because as I'm looking, look. Anyway, Riley Andersen and Marty Stevens are teammates in that Mercedes-Benz. And yes, I was the one who painted those rides for anyone asking. As Danny Rand is the leader. Let me see if I can find the car I'm looking for. I know I actually need to send a custom to I do need to make a paint scheme coming out soon. I'm still looking, by the way, for the paint scheme for anyone asking. Betty Johnson and Annie Thomas are both going to be running their Toyotas, for anyone asking. Yeah, I'm trying to remember which paint scheme I made for. I know Timothy Grenville's going to have the only Holden in the field, or actually could be either. He either could be going to Holden or could be. I'm thinking about getting a new paint scheme for Timothy Grenville, where he would move over to either Audi or Mitsubishi Lancer. Still thinking about that. That's something I'm probably going to be in the works for in later this season, as I'm still trying to find his, or in the Mazda, because we do have a Mazda in the series, in the Monster Energy series. By the way, Jacob Tutu drives a BMW in the series that I'm going to have the final season, Monster Energy series. And I'm trying to find the paint scheme, and apparently I can't find it for whatever reason. But I'll find it eventually. Either that or it's in my phone somewhere. If I can remember what the paint scheme was. I remember I had the paint scheme made, and I cannot figure out what the paint scheme it was. Marty Stevens, that is. I can let me look it up on my Gmail. Think we'll have our answer. All right, let me actually look. Because I swore I had his paint scheme in here. I'll find it, don't worry. As Danny Rand, by the way, is still leading. Hawkins is second. Gitirokh third. Emmanuel Hartnett is a lap down. Same with Jesse Ard. Dylan Ebrahimian fourth. Grace Takayoma fifth. Riley Andersen sixth. Betty Johnson is seventh. Remember, Betty Johnson was involved in our first caution. Good run for Betty. Eighth is S Ozkan. Emily Andersen has dropped to ninth. And Eric Stanbury is now 10th. Oh, I think I know. It was the it's the 3 car. Just popped in my head. I forgot he runs the number 3 machine. Marty Stevens. The Lucas 8. Okay, we figured it out. Sorry, I'm growing old. Which, by the way, I've seen the paint scheme. It's really nice. I don't think I have the photo for it, unfortunately. But you'll see it on track soon. So it's the Lucas 8, Mercedes, and the 36, which they're getting their engines, by the way, from World NOS Racing. They're the Mercedes engines. Just saw a car going on pit road. Grace Takayama. This is going to be a scheduled pit stop. It's like Grace trying to do the undercut. Dina Almas is on pit road. Of course, Dina was involved in the first caution. She's already 1 lap down, but remember, making that pit stop. Kind of figured this was going to be a 2-stop race, especially when drivers pitted on lap 5. And had we not had those yellows come out, they would have had to came to pit road about 12 laps ago. So we're playing the undercut strategy. So that's the ride that Marty Stevens runs, is the Lucasade Mercedes Benz, which I got a picture of it. I got to figure out what I did with it. Of course, if Danny Rand goes to victory lane, it's not going to make a difference because of the fact that he's not in the top 30 in the points, which really won't make a difference anyway, because so it's like, nothing to worry about. As Danny Rand and Betty Johnson have not come to pit road yet. Jacob Tutu in third. Let's find the 78. Remember, he was involved in the cautions. There's Jacob. Jacob, by the way, when we start, not Jacob Foster, the other Jacob, this Jacob right here, Jacob Tutu from Montreal, he will be entering the final season of the Monster Energy Series as the defending champion of the series. Remember, he won the title in 2023. Of course, he will forever be a champion of the Monster Energy Series. So we'll see him in his BMW. For anyone asking what BMW he runs, so I'm actually going to pull up. It's the BMW M5 that he runs. I also need to get the Honda Accord. Need to probably get a Honda in the series. Yeah, there's a lot of customs I'm gonna have to get. I'm gonna have to get taken care of for. But it should be a lot of fun if you ask me. As Jacob's going to come to pit road. Shiloh Linsky, by the way, is going to be also signing with Ricky Cervantes very soon. As looks like Danny Rand's coming to pit road. Is Betty Johnson also coming to pit road? We'll have to see, because remember, she's going awfully slow, but that's because she's on older tires. Yeah, she's coming to pit road. So is Scarlett Walls. So we've already cycled a round of green flag pit stops. So there you go. Which means that will cycle the lead back over to, I believe it'll be Alex Hawkins, because he's shown in the third position. A cycle of pit stops really played a factor. And yes, Hawkins will have the race lead. I think the 91 is still in the pit. Yeah, 91's leaving the pit. So, yep, Hawkins is now the leader. So we'll wait for timing and scoring to update the ticker. And we'll figure out where everybody will situate. We know Hawkins is now the leader, as he's now getting held up by Sam Davis. Gitirokh is now second. Riley Andersen in third. Grace Takayama, S Ozkan. That is your top five. Then Eric Stanbury, Emily Anderson, Dylan Ebrahimian, Brendan Rogers, who, by the way, has been asked to see the stewards in the Foster's hauler for turning Carolina Bradley, coming back to the caution, and his teammate Lucy Grainger completing the top 10. Danny Rand is now 11th. As we have 28 drivers in the race, 20 of them on the lead lap, and already 14 drivers out of the race. The only one that is not crash related is second in points, A McShane, who blew the gearbox during that long green flag run. Everybody else is out due to crash damage. And all those drivers that were involved in our last caution have all been checked and released from the medical center, and they are okay. Unfortunately, they're going to really take a hit in the standings as far as that is concerned. This copyrighted broadcast is presented by the authority of the World Racing Association for the private use of our audience. Any reproduction or rebroadcast or retransmit or any other disseminations or the use of this broadcast without the express written consent, of the World Racing Association is prohibited. Blue Hedgehog TV, the World Racing Association, want to thank you fans for your support, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast. So we want to thank you guys for spending your Wednesday with me. We look forward to seeing you guys with us next week. Alex Hawkins right now. Danny Rand, by the way, is starting to reel in, but he's running out of time doing so. He's like 10 seconds back. We've already took 30 to go, 29 to go. Alex Hawkins still trying to get around. Adina almost put her. I think this will be one lap down. Yes is the answer. Riley Andersen got around Daniel Gitirokh for second. Good run for Riley. As I'm recording this video, it is the first day of the February Flurry. As I'm recording this video, or coming to the end of the February Flurry. Of course, I wish all the people good luck over in the D1. Good luck this month. Their opening day is about to get going soon. Good race for Alex Hawkins. I think Danny ran as he was only under 6 seconds back of Alex Hawkins, but he is, like I said, running out of time. As look at this cluster mess right here. Gitirokh has caught Alex Hawkins because Hawkins has had troubles trying to get around all of these lap cars that are just interfering with this race. And Gitirokh, just like that, is going to take the lead, use the 10 as a pick. Riley Andersen is now in second. And here comes Grace Takayama right now as we're coming to 20 laps to go here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. That 10 car has been an absolute issue with the 47. Remember, the 10 car was involved in our first caution of the event. Oh, got a wreck. Hawkins into the wall. Riley Andersen's collected. Is that a caution? Caution is out. Oh, we're wrecking. Oh, somebody's into the wall. That's E Ricci. And Grace Takayama is going to take the lead. Wow. How things can change in a heartbeat, and the yellow is out for the 4th time today. Now are they going to have to make a pit stop? That's the question. They got enough tires to make it the rest of the way. And we'll find out those questions in a moment. We're first going to have to jump back, look at a replay to see what happened to Alex Hawkins as the yellow comes out in the late stages here at Atlanta. Just been told that Dina Almas has been called to the Foster's hauler because she ignored the blue flags and not getting out of the leader's way. As Riley, I don't know if Alex came up or Riley came down. Whatever the case, both of them made contact and took themselves into the wall. And I know they saved it, but the officials had no choice but to throw to yell. Emily Andersen did a good job getting on the brakes, not running in the back of the Castrol Ford. That's a tough break for Alex Hawkins, who led a good part of this race. Tell you what, Cody Magouryk did a good job not running into the Sunny D Chevrolet, but tough break for Alex Hawkins. Led a good part of this race, getting screwed over by the 10, and, he's got a wrecked race car. The yellow's out again for the fourth time today. Let's get to the restart here at Atlanta. Going to go back to green with 14 laps of racing to go. Grace Takayama is the leader. Daniel Gitirokh is second. Danny Rand in third. Dylan Ebrahimian fourth, Cody Magouryk in fifth, Eric Stanbury in sixth, seventh is Emily Andersen, eighth is Sambanoskin, ninth Alina Ritchie, and 10th is Riley Andersen. I don't know how much damage she got on the right side of her machine, but we'll have to see if she'll be up to speed or not. Nobody out of the race from that incident. And that was the caution that the 9 did not want to see, because that allowed everybody and their dogs to be reeled in, and we're going to have a doozy of a restart coming up to finish off today's race. As we're now back to green here at Atlanta. What will be the final restart of the day, and looks like the 2 is getting held up as somebody got held, and looks like Luis Hernandez held up Daniel Witter. Looks like Daniel Witter, she has never recovered. Fell a lap down on one of the cautions after coming to pit road. Fell a lap down. She has not recovered since. Chase Brooks, who was a lap down, he was running in the top 10 for most of the first half of this race, but basically the cautions and green flag pit stops really hurted him, as William Davis is back here in 18th. Looks like Riley is not up to speed, so she's going to be off the pace. That's a tough break for Riley, who was running in the top 10 for most of this race. Betty Johnson, who's been the comeback driver, got involved in that first yellow, stayed out of trouble for the rest of the day. Senor Sean. I felt like Daniel Witter had a race-winning car, but unfortunately just not going to be able to show it, as we're coming to 10 laps of racing to go here at Atlanta. Cody Magouryk going to try to take the lead, and he will do so. New leader, the Ziegler Chevrolet out of Spire Motorsports, our pole sitter from the Daytona 500. Of course, Cody Magouryk comes in this race 24th in the points. If he wins today, he would be in the playoffs, providing he remains in the top 30 in the points. Because remember, in the Oreo Cup Series, all 3 Spire cars made the playoffs that season. Danny ran in now in second. If he wins, it's really not going to change the playoff picture any difference, as I've had to stand up because I've been sitting for over an hour and it's making my bottom hurt and be red. And Danny has gone to the race lead. There's Daniel Witter. Could have been a winning, let me start that over. Could have had a race winning car today, but got trapped a lap down, never was able to recover. And she's only running in 20th. She and Emmanuel Hartnett, who were running in the top 10 for most of the first half of this race, not going to get the finishes to show for it, which is a shame. Chase Brooks looked like he had a race-winning car, going to end up, looks like 22nd, unless something dramatic happens between now and lap 130, but not going to be the day that those drivers were hoping for. I bet that last caution really hurt a number of drivers in the process, because if we didn't have the yellow come out, who knows what would have happened towards the end of this race. But as I said, just not meant to be, unfortunately. Which, by the way, Jacob Foster is locked in the All-Star race. Keep that in mind. So whoever gets a win in the first 13 races of this season, you're locked in the All-Star race. Everyone else will have to qualify into the All-Star race. Which I'm trying to think where... Oh, yeah, the All-Star race is at Coca-Cola this season. So this race has gone over an hour and 20 minutes, which is crazy. But the race link, or the video... The length of this video will say differently. As Daniel Witter is just trying to get her lap back, which really is going to start helping Cody Magouryk out. And lap traffic is going to play a factor in this race, in the who's going to win this race. And there's Alex Hawkins, which shame he's going to go a lap down after he was leading for most of this race and looked like he was on his way to winning until the 10 car just basically screwed him out of a win. And he's only going to end up in the 24th position, a lap off the lead lap. So Sam Davis, let's face it, not the day he was hoping for. As there goes the 91 to the race lead. So even if Danny Rant goes to victory lane, it's not going to be enough for him to get him into the top 30 in the points to have his win count for a spot into the playoffs. But he will be locked in the All-Star races. Alex Hawkins, not paying any attention, almost put the 77 into the wall. That would have not set well with the Spire Motorsports camp. I can tell you that for certainty. As we're down to 2 laps to go. Danny Rant, member, went longer on his tires before those green flag pit stops, and I think that's what probably is going to more than likely win him this race. And it's going to be looking like a Trackhouse podium. Senor Sean, his teammate, running in 3rd. Of course, Zachary Fitzwater out of the race, and Jesse Ard off the lead lap as the white flag is in the air. 1 more lap to go. Sponsored by Credit One Bank. Danny Rant, I believe, has not won a race since the Monster Energy Series, and that was a long time ago, so this is a nice way to end what has been a good career over for him, as he's going to round through 3 and 4. Trackhouse will get their first win of the year, and Chevy will go 4 for 4, as Danny Rand will win the Folds of Honor Quick Trip 500 here today at Atlanta Motor Speedway. And Danny Rant will be in the All-Star race, but he will not, however, make the playoffs because of the fact he is a non-charter entry. Keep that in mind. And this was Danny Rand's first start of the year, so he would be ineligible to make the All-Star race, as we are going to go ahead and save. Got a driver already out of the race, which I didn't realize, which we'll discuss that in just a second. Cody Magouryk will be the highest of the rookies. He will finish in the second position. He came in this race 24th on the points, so nice run for him. Daniel Gitirokh will complete the podium in third. Gitirokh came into this race, as I look for that 2 machine, the deuce. He was 29th in the points, so a well-needed run for him. Jacob Tutu will finish in fourth in his first start of the season, so good job to him. S Ard in fifth. He was a driver that was near the 30th in the standings cut line. Well-needed run, 28th in points. This will get him up through the top 20 in the standings leaving today. Lucy Grainger will come home in sixth. Lucy came into this race 10th in points, and a lot of drivers ahead of her in the points that had troubles today. This will keep her in the top 10 in the points. Brendan Rogers will get 7th, although he does have some explanations. He still has that little meeting with the stewards for turning Carolina Bradley, spinning her in the inside wall, which I don't think Carolina Bradley is going to be too happy with Brendan Rogers. Even though, to be fair, Carolina Bradley misjudged it, but that'll be a fun discussion nevertheless. Grace Takayama will come home in the 8th position. Grace came into this race 33rd in the points, so a well-needed run for that Hendrick Motorsports car. She is the highest of the Hendrick cars. D Ebrahimian will come home in 9th. 13th in points for Ebrahimian, and drivers ahead of him in points that had troubles today. This is a good result for them, and good result for Samad Ozkan's drivers, because M Zain complete the top 10 in the 10th position. Well done for that 19 machine. The 19 came into this race looking for him 25th in the points, so a well-needed top 10 result for him. Eric Stanbury came home 11th. Betty Johnson got involved in that first caution, stayed out of trouble. She's going to come home in 12th. Good run for her. Samad Ozkan finished in 13th. Samad came in this race as the points leader. The good news for him, the gal that was trying to run him down for the points lead and the rookie points lead, out of the race. So there you go as far as that. Paul Minnick, William Davis complete top 15. Good run for Paul Minnick. Haven't talked much about Paul Minnick all day long. That last caution played a major factor in this race. Riley Anderson was ended up 17th, finished the last car on the lead lap. Daniel Witter had a fast winning, felt like she had a car to win this race. Unfortunately, came to pit road on one of those cautions, got trapped a lap down, never was able to recover, never got a chance to get her lap back. Comes home in 18th. Ditto for Emmanuel Hartnett. Scarlett Wallace, 20th place. She also got trapped a lap down, never was able to recover. Through the rest, and as we'll take you through the rest of the finishing results here. Chase Brooks, 22nd. He was in the top 10 for most of this race. Alex Hawkins, who led a good part of this race, got screwed over by Adina Almaz, which I bet you that will not be a fun conversation. I can tell you that as you look on down through the rest of the finishing results, as my bottom is starting to get red because of me sitting. Luis Hernandez comes home in 25th. Emily Anderson was top 10, was running in the top 10 all day long. Looks like an engine failure sadly took her out of the race after a top 10 run. Very disappointed for the driver from Anchorage, Alaska. Jesse Art, Ponzo Albanus also finished the race. They were well off the pace. And then from 29th down to 42nd, all out of the race. The only one that was not damaged was A McShane, second in points. This is going to be a big kill for her. She and Emily Anderson were the only two drivers of the 15 that failed the finish that did not get involved in a crash. It was just a mechanical problem that took them out. Troy King on down were all involved in our 4 cautions we had to work through this race in the process. And I can tell you, there's going to be a lot of people not happy with Ponzo Albanus. I bet you Colleague Racing is going to get a nominee for Locale of the Week after the way they raced here today. And I bet you there's going to be a lot of people not happy with them after today's race. But Danny Rand will go to victory lane for the first time this season. Chevrolet Chevrolet is now 4-4-4. Who will stop Chevrolet next week at Texas? You'll find that out. Thank you all for joining me for today's race here at Atlanta. If you enjoyed it, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to become part of the World Racing Association crew today. We've shown your full finish results. Your points are down in the description as a result of today's race. We will see these drivers next week at Texas Motor Speedway. Now for our studio engineer, that is the YouTuber. I'm D Devils. Thank you for joining me and saying good night from Hampton, Georgia. We congratulate Danny Rant on getting Trackhouse their first win of the season. Coming up next, we'll rejoin the Infinity Network Sports Studios programming already in progress. I'll talk to you next week from the Lone Star State. You've been watching the PCSRA Foster Series on the World Racing Association's Multimedia Network.